Hello everyone, this is Nitrofusion here and welcome back to another video, and today we're going all the way back to primary school. I'm just joking, we're not. However, what we are going to do is look at the solar system in more exciting details that you can show them off to your friends. But of course, before the video starts, make sure to leave a like and subscribe so you're not going to miss any more awesome videos from me. Anyways, without any further ado, let's get into the topic then. So, I'm sure that most of us think the solar system exactly like shown in those pictures for kids. Large balls close to each other arranged in a line. Some may think otherwise, that it's a large plane with planets drawing circles on it and the sun in the centre. I mean, those visions are not necessarily wrong. It's just a very common misconception that lots of people, including me, make. If you were to actually look at the solar system in a God perspective, the only visible thing you will see is the sun, since all other planets are so small and so spread out that no one could locate them with naked eye. A YouTuber called Mark Rober made a video explaining the actual size of the solar system, and it would give you a very straightforward concept of the solar system IRL. Our solar system is divided into many sections with one main sequence star, 8 major planets and countless dwarf planets and asteroids. Let's start with the star, the sun. A weird thing is that it doesn't have any fancy numeral or alphabetical name like other stars do, mostly because of the fact that the sun is kind of like the star, or the standard of all stars. After all, it's our home star. It's classified as a main sequence yellow dwarf and has a mass of 1.0 solar mass, which is a waste of language. Its mass could also be 1.9885 times 10 to the power of 30 kilograms, or litres of water if you want to be funny, which is around the mass of 333,000 Earths. It has an age of approximately 4.6 billion years, so do most of the planets in the solar system. It could last 5 more billion years as a main sequence star before turning into a red giant, which will die in about 2 billion years and become a white dwarf. The star produces light and heat using a process called nuclear fusion. The process also sustains the overall shape of the sun and is what keeps the sun alive. Mercury is a rocky planet. It is the smallest planet, being at only 0.055 Earth mass, the closest to the sun being as close as 0.3 astronomical units. By the way, 1 AU is the distance from the Earth to the Sun, and the value varies by 3% as the Earth's orbit is slightly eccentric. The planet with the shortest year at only 88 Earth days, and longest day, which is around 116 Earth days. It is long so because, being so close to the Sun, Mercury is tightly locked to the Sun, causing it to rotate extremely slowly. It has the most eccentric orbit of all planets, with its max distance at 0.47 AU and minimum at 0.31 AU. Its surface temperatures vary greatly between -173 degrees Celsius and 427 degrees Celsius. And yes, they were copied from Wikipedia, so take them with a grain of salt. It has nearly no atmosphere, therefore its surface was scattered with craters from asteroids. Venus. Some call it the Earth's sibling, as it is very close to the Earth in terms of size and density, as well being the closest planet to the Earth. Its distance from the Sun is around 0.72 AU with an almost perfectly circular orbit. It has an extremely thick atmosphere, with most of them being carbon dioxide, which, if you don't know, is a greenhouse gas. As a result, Venus's surface is extremely hot, with a minimum temperature of more than 450 degrees Celsius. Its atmospheric pressure is around 93 times of Earth's, which means that without any form of protection you would be squished into a bar before suffocating on Venus's surface. However, some scientists speculate the existence of microbes in Venus's atmosphere where temperatures are more suitable. Mars. Yes, I'm purposely skipping the Earth, but we'll be talking about later. I made a video specifically on Mars a while ago, link in the description down below. Surprisingly, it is the second smallest planet in the solar system, being only at a tenth of the Earth's mass, which should be very unexpected for a lot of you guys. It is a red rocky planet and it has a thin atmosphere mainly made up of carbon dioxide and minimal amount of argon and nitrogen. Its atmospheric density is only 0.6% of the Earth's, and even that thin atmosphere is slowly disappearing due to the lack of a magnetosphere which could shield the planet from solar radiation. The polar regions of Mars contain ice, and there are tiny amounts of water vapour in Mars' atmosphere as well. There are regular dust storms stretching across the whole planet that change the look of the planet entirely, and its temperatures can dip as low as -147 degrees Celsius and up to 35 degrees Celsius, which is actually not too bad for human living. Speaking of which, there are many plans to colonise the Mars as well. Yes, Elon Musk, I'm talking about you. Before we go on to Jupiter, there is something between the main asteroid belt, a big donut made of rocks having their orbits between Mars and Jupiter. Before you picture the asteroid belt like the thing in Star Wars, no, it's not like that. In fact, there's a minimal chance that you are going to get hit by an asteroid because they are so far away. Asteroids aren't always tiny. The biggest asteroid discovered, Ceres, is so big that it could potentially be a dwarf planet. In fact, there's a big debate right now on whether to call it an asteroid or a dwarf planet, or both. Okay, Jupiter, the largest planet in the solar system. It is a gas giant and it is 1,300 times bigger than the Earth in volume, but only 317 times heavier than the Earth, thanks to its low density. But somehow, it rotates extremely quick. Each Jupiter day is only around 10 hours Earth time. Astonishing! It has a thick, gaseous atmosphere on the outside made up of hydrogen and helium, and inside is just an ocean of liquid hydrogen and helium. Its core is solid due to the immense pressure on it, and it is also very hot. Jupiter's atmosphere is truly spectacular, with super large storms blasting through the whole planet every moment, the most notable of which is the Great Red Spot, which is apparently a gigantic storm the size of Earth. The planet also has a thin planetary ring and 79 known moons. Some notable ones are Ganymede, the largest moon, Io, the closest moon that has many volcanoes, Europa, the planet with an ice crust and potentially an ocean underneath, and Callisto, an also pretty cool large moon. These are the Galilean moons, which are among the largest moons in the solar system. Saturn, in my opinion, the most beautiful planet. It is the second largest planet in the solar system, with a mass of around 95 times of the Earth. Its insides are a bit more complicated than Jupiter, with speculated layers of ice and more random layers. Its North Pole looks like a hexagonal shape, and the South Pole looks like an anus. It has 82 moons, the biggest being Titan, which is bigger than the Earth's moon and has a rocky surface, a thick atmosphere and ice layers underneath. Saturn has the most beautiful and sophisticated planetary ring system in the solar system. It's mainly made up of space, dust, ice and small meteoroids. Uranus, no, literally, I'm talking about the planet, not the other joke. It's a gas giant as well, therefore its composition is similar to those of Saturn and Jupiter. However, it does have a bit more ice, ammonia and methane in it. Its atmosphere is the coldest of the solar system, reaching as low as -224 degrees Celsius. One interesting thing about Uranus is that its axis of rotation is sideways, which means that polar regions are either constantly in darkness or constantly lit up. From the outside, it looks almost boring, a plain grey with a tint of blue. It has 23 known moons, and the planet itself is around 20 AU away from the Sun. Neptune, the furthest planet and is the third heaviest, being at around 17 Earth mass and around 30 AU away from the Sun. It is a blue gas giant, also known as the ice giant, along with Uranus, since they have large amounts of solid water in them. That's weird. It has 14 known moons, and since it is a gas giant, naturally there will be some great storms on the planet. Sure it does. Neptune's most famous storm is the Great Dark Spot, which is similar to Jupiter's Great Red Spot, except that it disappeared soon after Voyager 2 spacecraft's flyby. But honestly, other than these, Neptune is a pretty boring planet. Not to say that it's bad or anything, but it just doesn't stand out in millions of gaseous planets in our galaxy. And before you think that I am done, no, there's more. But before we dive into the fascinating outer shell of our solar system, I'm here to clear and create more confusion. Now, as we all know, the space has 3 dimensions. However, our solar system, its planets, asteroid belts and moons are all in a disc-shaped flat region around the Sun. And it is very curious because there is minimal chance that our planets just happen to be on the same plane. The most plausible explanation is that when the solar system is in its youth, planetary matter were attracted by the Sun and spins around, creating a disc shape. And because all of the planets were formed from this cloud of planetary matter, they would naturally orbit the Sun in a regularly flat plane. So yes, the solar system is relatively flat, but the Earth is not flat, so flat earthers that got excited, get out! Okay, the Kuiper Belt, home to Pluto, which was once a planet, its moon Charon, or Charon, I don't know, as well as other dwarf planets such as Eris, which is larger than Pluto but twice as far away, Haumea, a weird pebble-shaped dwarf planet that also has a planetary ring, and some smaller ones such as Makemake and Gong. And by the way, they were all named after mystical gods of Hawaiian, Easter Island and Chinese culture. So that's quite cool. Kuiper Belt is also home to countless comets, as well as some absolutely fascinating asteroids, including this monstrosity, the 486958 Arakoth, nicknamed Ultima Thule. You might wonder, why is this asteroid notable, and why did the New Horizons spacecraft take a detour just to visit the asteroid? Well, this is how it looks like. Scientists suggest that its unique shape is formed by a slow collision of 2 small asteroids, and it is currently the farthest celestial body that a human-made spacecraft have ever visited, so yeah, it's really cool. The Kuiper Belt is big, much bigger than the asteroid belts between Mars and Jupiter. There are a lot of mysterious objects and hypothetical dwarf planets, which shows just how little we really know about it. Some might question if there's anything outside the Kuiper Belt, or is it already the boundary of the solar system. It is commonly believed that the heliosphere, which is essentially a bubble created by the Sun that in some ways shield the rest of the solar system from interstellar plasma radiation, is the boundary of the solar system. It is also the boundary of the Sun's effective power range, measured by the ability to emit plasma that shields the solar system from interstellar plasma. There is also a hypothetical sphere of matter that surrounds the solar system anywhere from 1000 AU to 100,000 AU away from the solar system, called the Oort cloud. There's no definite proof that exists, but the theory is widely accepted by many scientists. The Oort cloud could be the final barrier of escaping the solar system, and could also count as the solar system's border. Many comets are said to originate from the Oort cloud before forming a stable orbit around the Sun. Okay, now we have ventured far beyond, I think it is time to come back home. Earth, I have made a video about it before, but it won't hurt to introduce a planet again. It is a rocky planet. In fact, it is the largest and heaviest rocky planet in the solar system. It also has the highest density of all planets in the solar system. I believe we are all very familiar with it, but the Earth has a mean radius of 6,171 kilometers. It has only one natural moon, which is called, unsurprisingly, the Moon. It's likely formed due to a large collision between the young Earth and a Mars-sized planetary body. The collision caused a large amount of debris to literally fly into space and clump together due to gravity. The collision also caused some side effects. Scientists believe that the reason for the Earth's core to be slightly larger than it's supposed to be compared to other planets is that the core of the hypothetical planet called Theia merged with the Earth's core after the collision. The Earth's atmosphere is made up of around 21% oxygen and 78% of, you guessed it, the glorious nitrogen. Small amounts of argon and carbon dioxide are also present, as well as varied amounts of water vapour and other gases. The Earth's solid mass, or I would say overall mass, is mainly made up of carbon, oxygen, mainly in the form of oxides, silicon, magnesium, sulfur, nickel and calcium. It is the only planet known by these on the planet to house life. Ironic. It has all it needs for life to grow and develop, but that would of course be another video. Okay, this video is a bit of a long one, and as always, every good thing has to end sometime. I hope that after this video you have established a more complete and fancy perspective and vision of our solar system and truly appreciate the beauty of nature. Also, today my channel Nitrofusion Lite turns 2 years old, so it's quite of a journey that we've been through. I have polished my video making and editing skills, making quite a few videos in process. I know that my main channel isn't somewhere people just drop into and stick around in, hence my not so good looking number of subscribers, but to be honest, I don't really care, since this is really something that I am passionate about and will keep doing. I know that my upload schedule isn't very regular, so I'll try my best to tighten it up and keep myself organised. If you have any suggestions, questions or just things to say in general, feel free to pop it down in the comment section. Also, if you have liked my video so far, don't hesitate to leave a like and subscribe, as it would really be a big help to me. Anyways, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.